I also would I will go out on a limb and say that, and these guys cannot come out and say this. So like TMZ, they take oaths, like journalism oaths. They're not going to tell their source. They're not going to come out and say things. I bet you she was in negotiations with somebody to leak that tape, to show, because she wanted to humiliate Rachel and to be like, you fucking asshole, look at what you did. So I have a feeling that she has had a conversation with somebody about it. And it's just up to that person to come forward and say, yeah, we did have that conversation. I'm waiting for that to happen. I do not think Mark Geragos is going to file court documents unless he knows there is that kind of proof.
Yes. And mind you, where we go with this is like, so now Ariana, she's had a great windfall, big and this and that. And she said yes to everything, as would I. You take every opportunity, Chicago. But now, I mean, cha-ching, Geragos ain't picking up the phone. I don't know about how he was on your podcast, darling, but on this podcast, at 31 minutes, Mr. Geragos said, honey, you know how much I charge per hour? We have to go, darling. So, Ariana now has to go get a lawyer. Tom has to get a lawyer. I mean, it's a lot of money that will add up really fast. So imagine how annoyed Ariana must be of like, you fucked my boyfriend. I'm not taking a side. And now I've had such a great year and it's lovely in Chicago. And this is reality. This is happening. You are sued. Like, you're innocent, whatever. You have to get a lawyer and defend yourself. Cha-ching, cha-ching. You have been involved in many lawsuits. I have been involved in lawsuits before. You have I have to talk to you. I got my thoughts, my lawyer. And you're like, what the fuck is this at the end of the month? And it's like, you called me here. You're like, I can't argue with this bill. I did call you all those fucking times. I didn't realize I was going to get a fucking bill for $10,000 for my first month. Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's expensive. By the way, before the month is up, you could be spending $10,000, $20,000, $30,000.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know where this goes, but I mean, I'm sure Ariana's not thrilled. And I mean, it's not going to bring Tom and Ariana together, I'm sure.
But I will say the smartest thing she ever did was not go back on the show, because then she has a real chance of saying, they benefited from this. I didn't. I've been scorned. How do I get another job from this? I've been through this. Me and Rachel are very similar. I could not get a job. I could not do anything. People looked at me a certain way. That she should have, I was thinking, how could she not take an opportunity to go back on the show, because she needed the money. She was very smart not to, because now she can literally say in her court document,
that's the damages. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't go back on because it was too upsetting. They ruined my reputation so bad. I don't trust them. And it makes it look even worse. So
you know what I think?
Whoever encouraged her to walk away from that was very smart.
Well, you know what I think? I think that the day this happened, that Geragos and Friedman were there and they said, the first thing you need to do is not go back. Second thing you need to do is check yourself into this facility. I think a month into it, she said, let me out. I don't think
the facility was her call or some amateur's call.
I don't think so.
Oh, you have to pretend you're a sex addict and go to the Meadows. I was in the Meadows. You and I had this conversation before. It is a legit, they only take 12 people for love addiction. It is love and sex addiction. It is a legit program. It's 60 days. Apparently she stayed longer. I think her issue is post-traumatic stress disorder for how the world came down on her. And it surfaced for her as, I'm making poor decisions in men. So she thought it was love addiction. And I don't think she's a love addict. She had an affair with someone. Okay. Like, it happens to a lot of people. Like, he told her a lot of things. She believed them and she had an affair. I mean, she doesn't have to go to rehab for it. And I think someone in crisis management was like, well, Kevin Spacey did it. And, Tiger Woods did it. And, all these people did it that got into sex scandals. You should do it. I think it was her decision, but I think she got a lot of tools from being there, because I got tools from being there as to like how to, manage your lack of self-worth. And I think, that's why people get into situations like that. So I understand
it's a lack of self-worth. Mr. Spacey was diddling with the underage boys, including Adam Rapp from Rent. So I don't know if that's
Mm.
100. Yeah, he was diddling. Now he's living in his innocent man. Well, everything was dismissed.
Also, Anthony Weiner went there. Like everyone who's been in a sex scandal, I've gone there. It's like, but at the end of the day, I was not there for being a love addict. I was being there. I went there for post-traumatic stress disorder, for not dealing properly with what happened to me on September 11th, losing my fiance, not dealing properly with losing my father, not dealing properly with what it was like to go through one of the biggest sex scandals of our time, and having the whole world turn on me and feeling that kind of shame. But a lot of people put their anger on me based on what I triggered in them, similar to like Lala's reaction towards Rachel. I think a lot of people were offended by how angry Lala was, but and I said this to you from the very beginning. I like Lala. I did not like how she treated her, because all these women have been cheaters on that show. So, that level of anger, calling them names, like it to me, it was so clear she was triggered by something that happened to her, and everyone's anger towards Rachel was triggered by their own issues, which is fine. But like, that is hurtful for someone. You like, when everyone's like, go kill yourself, that's like a terrible thing to swallow, because you're already dealing with like your own actions. But her own actions were not as terrible as like the feedback she got from other people. That was not necessary.
Well, as we wrap up, let me tell you, you're going to have to come back on. Let me tell you that the world is coming around to, just like, we love to take someone down. We love to build them back up. Lots of people are like team Rachel on this one. Lots of people still
I've
hate
always
her.
been team Rachel.
I'm team Rachel
I
too.
thought that it was a terrible way she was treated. And I think that it's a common thing. I hate to say it, but what they went through. And
You should read the court documents. It talks about an older man who took advantage of her.
Well,
I mean,
listen, I think they have to
I
do
know,
that for a reason, for legal reasons. I don't, he wasn't
of
that much older.
course.
I don't think the older thing has anything to do with her being younger. I do think she has legitimate, reasons to feel like her life was, her credibility was taken. I didn't read the court documents, but her credibility was definitely taken away.
You got to come back every day.
How about me, you, and Sarah Fraser, our buddy Sarah? We could do a threesome.
Listen, Sarah, Miss Fraser would love that. I am not pansexual, but I will
And in the
participate.
next episode, I want to talk more about what I think is interesting, more true crime stuff, you behind the velvet rope people. But
What
like,
type of true crime?
where is Kate Middleton? Where is she?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know where she is, guys.
I tune out with all that shit, royal this and that. I just like, it goes over my head. It really does.
I don't really like this reality stuff, because to me, it's so.
I'm over the reality stuff.
It's not real. Yeah. Anyways, can I plug my podcast, please?
Of course.
If
Plug
anyone is
everything you
still
want.
listening,
They listen, honey. This is
okay.
Patreon.
Guys, it would be so great if you would come over to my podcast. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcast. I'm also on YouTube, but it's called Misunderstood with Rachel Uchitel, spelled MISS understood. It would be so great to hear from you. I get the best comments from Behind the Velvet Rope followers, and I really appreciate it. And I think you'll like my content in addition to David's, because I talk about people that have been reduced to a single headline, and they're on a mission to change their narrative. So it's a little bit, of a sidestep from what David talks about, but it's very intertwined. I think you guys, I would be a podcast that you would like. So I would love for you to come check me out. And I appreciate all the followers. Thank you.
I think so. It's a good podcast. We're going to have you back. I don't know why we haven't had you more regularly.
Yeah.
I
don't know either.
Well, put a pin in that, because look, maybe there's no more lawsuits. I heard there's a lot to come. Let's see what happens. This is what we talk about. Text me, enjoy your wine, and we will speak. I've got to
go fill up my glass, but
go fill it up, and we will speak very, very soon.
Okay, enjoy your hot dogs.
Bye.
Bye.
Hot dog. It's a gay bar in Silver Lake. Bye.
Oh, I thought you were going to eat.
No, I'm not eating a damn hot dog. It's a gay Sunday fun day. We're recording this on a Sunday fun day.
Hot dogs. Wow.
Rachel, I don't know. All I know is I'm going to Silver Lake. The boys convinced me to go out, and sometimes you have to step away from the work And they
Okay, and you
apparently,
and I know
apparently
that
I'm gonna get robbed because they just said, leave your watch and your Louis bag at home. So I said, why am I gonna be robbed? And they said, yes. So here we go. This is my life. People think I'm